MJF's pipe bomb and what's gonna happen now? Hello. It is me, your true health phenom, SP3. No, this is not a Wednesday. I am here on a Friday with another person who proves that May 18th is the greatest day for birthdays. It is Denise Salcedo. How are you doing?
What's up, dude? I'm glad to be here. Very excited to be here.
Yes, we got quite a show to get into as it's been a very busy MJF centric week in professional wrestling. But we do have to figure out, I see in the live chat, they're already talking about it. We have to figure out our team name because,
Oh, yeah, that's right.
you
I think we should just be like the Tauruses.
the Tauruses, the May 18th, because we
The
share
May
the same
18ers.
the May 18th. I like that one.
Do you
We're
have
like,
any idea how many people I share my birthday with?
how many?
A lot. My grandpa.
Really?
We share the same birthday. My fiance's sister. We share the same birthday. My ex 5th grade boyfriend, we share the same birthday. So I share the same birthday with a lot of people. That's why I'm like, oh, okay, whatever. I've been used to it my entire life.
I only met one person ever, and that was the person I went to college with, and that was it.
No,
Until
it
I met
happens
you.
to me all the time. Everyone's like, oh yeah, that's my birthday too. And I'm like, okay, well, I hate to say it, but I'm like the most special one on my birthday. No, I'm just kidding.
You're like,
No,
I
and then
take
my
first
little
place.
cousin, she's on May 19th. She was almost born on my birthday, but she ended up being born on May 19th. But no, it's so are you like super like hard-headed, stubborn, bougie, like it's all about me sort of person?
Think I'm always right?
Yeah, exactly. Like that's what they say about like Tauruses, that you're like a bull. Like you're like, well, obviously that's the sign, right? But
Yeah.
you're essentially like this very like whatever you decide is right. That's it. There's no changing your mind unless you change it yourself, but nobody is going to change your mind for you.
Exactly. That's what makes Tauruses. So yes, we
You
share
love
that.
food and luxury too?
I love food, luxury, money, of course. Money is like, yeah, always about the money. With Tauruses, good with math too, because the
Not
money.
me. I didn't get that
No?
one. I didn't
You
get
didn't get that
skill.
one?
No, I didn't get that one. They didn't give me that one. They were like, nah, screw you, girl. You're done. You're going to be dumb as hell when it comes to math. Do not ask me a math question. I will look so stupid. Like
Trust me.
ridiculously stupid.
We are going to talk about money on this podcast, but we won't ask math questions. Don't worry.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that.
I did see a couple of good ones. SPD. I came up with Denise P3.
Oh, I like that. It sounds like a robot. Denise. No, what was it again? Denise P3 or Denise SP3?
Denise P3.
Hello, it's Denise P3. Welcome to the show. How's it going?
This is gonna be fun.
The Friday shows are always just like ridiculous, like all the time, because I'm on them.
And I know you're known for your swear jar. You make Mad Mother very expensive with your swear jar. And I have the honor of, I think I'm one of the few people that have never cursed on a WrestleTalk podcast, unless it was a promo that I'm re-inciting and I'm saying someone else's words.
Like a quote. Yeah,
like a quote. I've never cursed on a WrestleTalk podcast, so
I love it. You
trigger
are Mr. Clean boy. I don't know. Clean boy sounds really wrong, right? Like, oh, you're a clean boy. How do you say someone that doesn't curse and is very polite? Polite boy? I don't know.
No, trust me, I curse.
Mr. Polite.
I
don't know.
I curse. I'm just not here. I choose. I'm very selective. I choose my spots. Kind of like.
See, that's good though. The second you stop doing that, it just comes out. It just comes out, and then there's no holding you back.
Exactly. You pull the Band-Aid off, and all the blood comes out. That's how it is with cursing.
I agree.
But yes, we want to hear from all of you. Send in those Ultrachats. We're going to read those at the end of this podcast. WrestleTalk.com/support. But we are here, Denise, to talk about some MJF. Like, neither one of us has talked about MJF all week, so it's a great to talk about him, right? He's had a very busy week since last Saturday before Double or Nothing. I have the timeline here. MJF no-showed a meet and greet on Saturday night and wasn't picking up his phone for anyone and was spotted playing slots at the Mandalay Bay Casino. You were there in Las Vegas. Did you play the casinos at Mandalay Bay?
I did actually. Yeah. I had a good time. I made some money and like I don't know how to gamble. So I was just pressing the buttons. Like I kid you not. It was like not, I don't know, it was kind of confusing the machine that I was on. And I was like, so what's going on? Am I winning? What's going on? And then like some big graphic came up on the little screen saying I was a big winner. And I was like, all right, where's the like it didn't tell me. Like a lot of the machines tell you like how much money you're making. This one didn't tell me. And I was like, okay, cash out. And then I just cashed out and then I saw the money come out. I was like, what?
You hit the big time. That's what I like to hear. See? And Tauruses are lucky. We are pretty lucky.
Yeah, but it all went downhill after that. I didn't get any more money. It was just like a one-time thing. And then I almost feel like the whole house saw me walking around and they were like, oh, that girl, she smells new. Let's get her a win so she can get addicted to gambling. And it worked because I was there and I spent the rest of my money. And then afterwards, I ended up like going home because I didn't win any more money. But had I won more, I would have stayed there longer. And then I had a really embarrassing thing happen to me. Are you a gambler? Do you know much about gambling?
I know a little bit. I gamble on like sports. I played like casinos. I always tell everybody. No, more like Atlantic City. I've never been to Las Vegas. So I've gone to Atlantic City and I always do this theory. You play 21 black. If you land on the first one, you can gamble the rest of the weekend. If you don't gamble because it's bad luck. That's my theory.
Okay, so I don't know anything about gambling. Like I'm the person that's always afraid to develop an addiction. So I don't do anything. I'm like I'm Mrs. Clean. Like I don't do nothing, okay? Because my fear is like developing some sort of addiction and then like ruining my entire life, right? So anyways, so I was like, okay, I'm gonna go have fun, spend $20, this and that, right? And I had nothing else better to do. And then so there's this table and it said free something blackjack, okay? But it said free. So I felt so dumb because I went up to the girl and I was like, so I could play blackjack for free? And she looked at me and she had like her mask on. So I could barely make out what she was saying, but she was like, oh, like basically telling me that you cannot play for free. And I was like, what do you mean I can't play for free? It says free. I'm like, do I get like a free round of blackjack or what? Because this is where I'm sitting at. And she was like, no. Like, and she started explaining it to me. And I was like, oh, well, I'm going to leave now because it's not free. I don't know what it means in gambling terms, but it ain't free.
Well, there you have it. That's Denise's gambling story of free blackjack. Never believe the signs is what we're trying to tell you.
Why did they have free blackjack if it wasn't free? What does that mean?
I have no idea. I'm confused now. Like this is gonna bother me.
Someone on the chat, and I saw it in every hotel. It said free something blackjack, and I thought, oh, that's like the place where you get people that are like poor and could play.
If you don't have any money, just go into the free blackjack zone.
That's what I thought. I thought, oh, they're very generous and they give you one round of like free blackjack. And then I thought maybe after the free round, you have to pay. And so then I left because I didn't know how to play the game. And she didn't seem like she wanted to explain it to me.
Well, watch BTE. BTE, they play a lot of blackjack, but you can learn how to play that way.
True. Okay, I'll do that.
Yeah. There you go. Wrestling helped you out. But yes, MJF, after playing the slots at the Mandalay Bay Casino, it then emerged that a flight out of Las Vegas to Newark had been booked in MJF's name, reported by Fightful Select. MJF didn't board said flight, stayed in Las Vegas throughout Sunday before Double or Nothing. AEW took down and then put back up the previews for his matchup with Wardlow, and there was still doubts that he would actually show up at the show. The match did happen. MJF was destroyed by Wardlow and stretchered out with the mask over his nose and his eyes, which was hilarious visual, leading to speculation that he had been written out of AEW either permanently or at least until the situation was resolved. At the post-show media scrum, Tony Khan did not answer any questions regarding MJF, gave no comment to everything. After the show, it emerged that MJF showed up at the last minute while the buy-in was on the air, to be specific, and left straight after the match and was finished. In the then we had PW Insider reported that MJF was not expected to be attending AEW shows for at least several weeks, possibly longer. Then MJF popped up in LAX the day before AEW Dynamite in Los Angeles. Of course, Denise was also there as well. The day of Dynamite, it was reported that MJF had met with AEW management the day after Double or Nothing. AEW then officially announced he would be appearing on the show. And then we got the pipe bomb promo where MJF called Tony Khan a flippin' mark and told him to fire him. It was one of the best work shoot promos to a lot of people since CM Punk's pipe bomb just 11 years ago. And now we have all the fallout since then with, AEW has took down his face and his name from their roster page, took off all his merchandise from Shop AEW. There's been backstage reactions, but first, Denise, you were there live, so you got to experience the whole thing, everything that happened during the commercial break when it went black. What was your reaction being there live for MJF's pipe bomb?
I said this on a few shows, and basically what it is that I feel like it was one of the craziest things I've ever experienced live. I don't recall there being anything that was like so crazy that I experienced in person than that moment. I cannot explain to you how like on it the crowd was. They were listening and hanging on to each and every single word that MJF said. And every single line, every single sentence that he said, it garnered a different reaction from the crowd. So you had one moment where the people were like massively booing MJF and like, F this guy, he's an asshole and this and that. And then the next moment, it was like, yes, he is the man. Oh my God, we love him, blah, blah, blah. So it kept going back and forth to the point where it wasn't so much so that people were reacting to MJF now, the character. No, they were reacting to whatever it was that he was saying. And so people were really, really invested in this and reacting to it. And so the moment just felt very, very grand. And at those final moments when MJF is yelling like you effing mark to Tony Khan, it was one of those things where everybody in the crowd was like, holy, like this has gone like, above and beyond, etc. Like I think everybody in that crowd was just like in utter shock. And afterwards, when they did the whole like commercial break thing and you had CM Punk limping out there and MJF just leaves through the crowd, everybody just kind of felt they had the anything like the crap, like anything can happen type of vibe. And so I think that was the cool part of it. Like the promo was cool. I think there was a lot of things that MJF said that you can argue are very valid, especially when he was talking about like the ex-WWE guys. That was definitely something that I think caught a lot of attention when he was talking about how like, hey, maybe if I would have been an ex-WWE guy, I would have been treated better. I thought that was one of my big reactions where I was like, Jesus Christ, dude, like he's got a point, honestly.
Yeah.
He's legitimately got a point there. So I loved it. I loved the entire promo. I know a lot of people who didn't like it, but I'm on the side where I did like it. And the reason I say that is because if I'm there, we're there to be entertained, right? We're there to be sports entertained. And I cannot lie to you. I'm not going to try to be like a smart fan or whatever the frick you want to call it. When I was there, I had a good time, and listening to MJF say all these things, it got a reaction out of me, an honest to God reaction out of me. And so that's why I personally was a fan of it. But the whole thing, though, the big question is like, and I've been asking this, like, what's the end game? What's the end game? That's something we really need to talk about because that's very important. That's going to either make or break this entire thing. It's what's the end game? What are we going to end up seeing happening? And the other thing is that I still believe that when this all started, this was legit. I do think that this was turned into a work, and I guess good for the company that it turned into a work, because the last thing you want to do is like lose face and basically look like you can't keep your talent under control, that sort of thing. So I still think that a lot of the stuff that happened prior was legitimate, but we'll see what happens.
So my question for you is, where do you think it became a work?
If
That's
I
the
had to
key in all
guess,
this.
I would say the moment he showed up to Double or Nothing, or after Double or after the match, somewhere around there. Before,
Yeah,
because I think before, like regardless that whatever, like what happened on the match had to happen. Like that was the story that they were telling. That was the story. So the squash to me should have happened with or without the drama.
I mean, it made it the most interesting. It was already the best build up going in to Double or Nothing, like a 2+ year build up for Wardlow versus MJF. But it got one of the biggest reactions of the show. MJF was the guy they were talking about going into the show, even though CM Punk became the AEW World Champion in the days after. He was the guy they're talking about after the show, and especially after this promo, they are talking about him. It's
He's all people are talking about. Nobody's talking about anything else. Anything else. Nothing.
Yeah, he's basically I said this before on a couple of different shows and I say it here. Anytime he picks up the phone now, his number that he's asking for his contract is gonna go up now. Like he has just raised his name value and his star power throughout this whole thing. I do agree with you though. I think like the first part, his frustrations with getting paid, especially with the reports from PW Torch saying that guys like Mark Henry and Christian and Malachi Black are all paid like 4 to 5 times more than him. I've said this before and I'll say it again. Like maybe CM Punk, Brian Danielson, Chris Jericho, those guys should be paid on the same level or more than
But
MJF.
not the other ones that you named.
Not the other guys
No,
that I just named.
definitely not. Definitely not.
I was just stunned by that report, and of course
I
the
mean, if we kind of knew it, right?
yeah.
Like we knew it. We knew that going out. Like we knew that already. It's just that it wasn't in our faces. Now it's in our faces, but we already knew that. And it's like, damn, like we stop and think about it. It's kind of fucked up.
Yeah, I think that's why he got that change of reaction throughout that promo where he got more real talking about the ex WWE guys. Though anytime he said the word WWE, that LA crowd went crazy. Like it was just like we've had references to WWE in AEW before, but not a lot of people had openly said the names and the word and those letters together, and the delivery that he had was just fantastic. I think it was like parts 2011 CM Punk, parts 1996 Brian Pillman in a lot of different ways. And I do agree with you. I think the frustration was real. Him no showing, probably just feeling like getting in his own like feelings about like how he's been paid. I think him no showing was real. And I think after that, that's when it became a work, the way they were just like, man, you're getting all this buzz. But my question for you now is, where do you think him and Tony are at? Do you think there's kind of like a handshake agreement? Maybe he's getting a raise, or there's like in writing. What do you think they're at behind the scenes? Because that's the most interesting part. And I don't want to know. I just want to speculate about it for the next year and year and a half because I don't want to know. I don't want any reports on if he signed a new deal, if they have a handshake agreement. But what do you think?
If I had to guess, just a guess, I would say they have an understanding. That's the way I see it. I feel like they might just have like a mutual understanding of, okay, let's just run with it. Like this whole thing got started. Now let's make it into something. In terms of the money, it's hard to speculate. I can't even speculate on that. I feel like that's a whole different. No, I can't even speculate on that.
I totally understand, and I don't want to either. But we got to talk about, talking about when it was at work, when it wasn't. Fightful released a report yesterday where they talked about the backstage reaction to all of this, saying that Fightful spoke to countless AEW talent about MJF's situation in the company, with most of the talent ranging from it's always been a work on MJF's side to, well, it's definitely a work now. One talent told Fightful that if they found out the situation had been a work any further than this weekend, they'd be particularly frustrated for many reasons. One was that talent had talked to both MJF and Tony Khan in confidence in an effort to learn more about perceived issues, which by all accounts were real issues. And Tony Khan had indicated to numerous talent over the years and indicated that working talent isn't something they should expect there. Also, there were talent at MJF scheduled meet and greet who ended up having to stay and do extra work in order to make up to for the MJF no show, who were included in of a potential work. And also this kind of falls in line with what Dave Meltzer reported in the Wrestling Observer newsletter, is that, you know, working talent in this way is very reminiscent to WCW. And we've all heard the comparisons to WCW and AEW. And Tony Khan has said he's known about all the mistakes WCW made. But when you look at the promo itself, Dave also mentioned that he's kind of like, you know, AEW has always had this vibe that they are the cool promotion. But with MJF and his delivery of this promo, he's kind of made them uncool for how they have brought in all this ex-WWE talent and are paying them more than the originals like him. Where do you stand as far as, did MJF's promo kind of cross over into making AEW seem uncool because of their treatment of ex-WWE guys?
I would say more so it kind of made them look a little bit like, that's why I kept saying like, what's the end game in this? Because for the everything like leading up until this like pipe bomb promo, MJF hasn't been looking so great. And I was talking with fans at the GCW show, and I remember like everybody was just, when the reports came out about him not showing up to the meet and greet, and we still didn't know at this time if he was going to show up to Double or Nothing. People were frustrated. Nobody was saying anything good about MJF. Everybody was just like, damn, like this is crazy, blah, blah, blah. Poor Wardlow, blah, blah, blah. And nobody would, like, MJF wasn't getting over with anybody at that point. Still, like, people were just kind of thinking like, oh, that's pretty messed up, you know?
Yeah.
And then with AEW, they also looked bad because it's, you're thinking, oh, you can't control your talent. Right. And then now I would say now that it's turned into a work, the whole question about, you know, whether or not they were working the talent, that also kind of, to me, makes the company look bad, because you don't want to work the talent. You know, their talent. You don't want to do that. And so I feel like there are a lot of aspects of this that do make you put in question some of the stuff for AEW and also MJF. And so I do agree with some portions of those statements. And I've had a lot of people that, you know, when they were expressing to me why they didn't like this, part of those reasons included that. And so I feel like it depends on what kind of person you are and how you're going to see this and how you're going to react to it. You're either going to love this and be like, this is the greatest thing I've ever seen, or you're going to hate it and be like, this is the worst thing I've ever seen.
Yeah, very much so. Like it's kind of a polarizing thing where it kind of going to get split down the middle of the people that really enjoy it or the people that see the issues with this. One of my issues with it, I'm one of the people, I will say, I'm on the side of, I really enjoyed this pipe bomb promo, and I really enjoy the fact that they've taken this real story and made it a work. But I do see the other thing that Dave said on Wrestling Observer Radio. Wardlow had his big moment at Double or Nothing. Like I said, Wardlow was one of the MVPs of the whole entire show because of how he came across, paying off a 2-year plus angle. But then we get to Wednesday, MJF doesn't really sell what happened on the pay-per-view. You know,
he's pretty much looking healthy for the most part.
Yeah, he said he's in a lot of pain, but he didn't really show that. He's coming out of this looking like the hottest star in all of professional wrestling. And Wardlow is back doing the squash match, and now he's feuding with Mark Sterling. It's
and
like,
nobody cares. Let's be real. The follow-up to Wardlow has not been great.
no, you would think that Wardlow, especially because I saw the ranking, he was ranked number 1 on his first official, you know, time as a contracted guy. He's ranked number 1, but then he's still in the squash match. We don't know a real direction for him. He's feuding with a lawyer now, and MJF is the guy that comes out of this looking like the bigger star. So does this whole angle with MJF, yes, it's exciting for wrestling fans, but does it really hurt Wardlow in the long run, in your opinion?
I don't know about the long run yet, but I do think that there's no reason why he shouldn't have been. Well, I mean, I get the reasons. Okay, I get the reasons, but I feel like they should have made some changes to have Wardlow included either in the TNT title picture, or hell, maybe even have him, like, even if they would have just done like a simple, like him and CM Punk, like a stare off or something. I don't know, anything like that. It would have just kind of felt like, okay, here we go. Like, this is the next part. Because when is Wardlow going to be this hot ever again? We don't know. This was the hottest he ever got. And so, and it's hard to say when it's going to happen again. And so you want to go ahead and, like, you know, captivate from that. You want to go ahead and, you know, use that opportunity to actually make something of Wardlow, build a new star out of this. And so it did, like when they announced that it was going to be Wardlow and JD Drake, I thought, oh, like that's it? Like that's kind of lame. Like I thought it was very, very lame. And then when he came out and had, the squash match and did the Powerbomb Symphony, I was like, okay, cool. Nice. Applause, applause. But it was nothing like, oh my God. And then when they had the whole thing with Mark Sterling, it was this cute, like, oh, that's cute, that's funny, haha. But it wasn't anything OMG about what the hell we saw, like it wasn't anything special. And then afterwards he just walked away, and I just remember thinking, like, that's it for Wardlow? That's it? That was, it left you just feeling like that. It didn't let you feel like, oh shit, that was cool. It was just more of, that's it. All right, well, peace. I'll root for you next time I see you.
like I hope that he's on the Rampage tonight, at least, like have Scorpio beat Dante Martin, and then Wardlow comes out, because he never really got his real shot at the TNT championship that he earned when he won the Face of the Revolution, because MJF cost him that. So, just going back to that, at least give him something where he can get that TNT title and save it from what's been going on. I like Scorpio as the champion.
Too.
And, you're from LA. I'm a Los Angeles Lakers fan. I love Genie. I love the new TNT championship, and I would love to see it for a little bit longer. But Wardlow needs something to kind of sink his teeth into.
He would benefit a little bit more from it than Scorpio Sky.
Yeah.
I almost feel like everybody's kind of just waiting, like, okay, who's going to be the next champion? Instead of like really relishing in. And this is nothing against Sky. It's just that the story's not there.
Yeah, and they had a good story when they turned him babyface in Philly after the ladder match, and then they did the whole thing with Frankie Kazarian where he turned heel again, and it's just like, okay, now we're just right back where we were. Like, what are we doing?
Yeah, exactly. Agreed.
The last bit of this MJF story we should mention is Chris Jericho, who put out a tweet yesterday. Well, yeah, this was.
I didn't see it. What did he say?
Yeah, about 1 a.m. This morning, actually.
Oh, no wonder. I was.
Yeah. He says, for the record, at AEW is the best sports entertainment company I've ever worked for, and at Tony Khan is the best boss I've done business with. If certain talents feel they're undercompensated, maybe you're not as good as you think you are. Go elsewhere, please. You'll be begging to come back.
I think that was Jericho in character.
Oh, of course, of course. And I
as the sports entertainer and the jazz and all of that.
Exactly.
I don't think it was like legit, like Chris,
Yeah, no, this was not Chris Irvine. This was Chris Jericho, the Wizard, kind of talking, because the one key thing that I've liked with Chris Jericho, even though he's turned heel, he still keeps the same energy when it comes to MJF. He still
they have their
MJF.
Whole beef and everything. They have a long history.
It's all a part of the work, guys. It's all a part of the magic of the Wizard and the magic of this whole storyline.
I thought you were going to say the magic of the work.
The magic of the work. And what one idea I do have, like you said, what's the end game with this whole MJF situation? I feel like they have got themselves into a scenario where, CM Punk wins the AEW World Championship, and everybody's like, oh, we're going to see Summer of Punk 3.0. We had Summer of Punk in ROH. We had Summer of Punk in WWE. We have Summer of Punk in AEW. I think it's really the summer of MJF, where we're going to have a situation in Chicago at All Out 2022 where CM Punk plays the role of John Cena, MJF plays the role of CM Punk, and he's going to win the AEW World Championship and hold the company hostage. And it's the cherry on top of a promo that MJF cut after Revolution when he lost in the dog collar match, where he said, the next time I face CM Punk is going to be the most embarrassing loss of his career. So he beats him in Chicago. He's 3-0 against him in Chicago. He takes the AEW World Championship and makes CM Punk the shortest reigning champion in the history of the title. And 3, he takes the title from the company that brought CM Punk's love of professional wrestling back, and he threatens to bring it to the company that killed his love of professional wrestling.
I feel like that's been the number one theory going around. So I'm not surprised by that. And with everybody kind of like connecting the dots on that, it feels like that's a very plausible direction. And I've heard a bunch of people are like, yep, that's what's going to happen. That's what's going to happen. So I feel like I feel like it could happen. Definitely. It could happen, especially with the way that things are starting to shape up, or CM Punk was the one that came out and, was trying to talk to him or calm him down, etc. And again, that's somebody that they've already, have started telling a story with CM Punk, etc. So I do think that's very, very plausible.
It should be very, very interesting over the next couple of weeks in AEW and professional wrestling in general. But we want to hear from you guys. What do you think about this whole MJF situation? What do you think about AEW with their magic of the work? Where do you think it started? Let us know. WrestleTalk.com/support. We're gonna read some of your ultra chats here. We got Graham Shaw with a ultra chat who says the best idea I've seen for MJF came from @Trevor Dame, saying that at Forbidden Door it should be MJF versus Kota Ibushi in the first ever winner leaves town match.
Oh my god, it's pretty funny actually. Or maybe they could do like a Freaky Friday thing where they switch places. I don't know. That's really funny.
That's the trade. It's a trade-off.
Yeah.
Kota Ibushi for MJF. MJF would die being in New Japan when he just cut the promo. Like, I don't pretend to think I watch New Japan.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's right. He did say that. Yeah. Oh, why? Is it because I don't pretend like your faves to watch New Japan? That was hilarious.
A great part of that promo, indeed. We also got 8-Bit Archer, who's got an ultra chat here, who says, I'm a little more torn in regards MJF going forward. Max is being positioned as a rebel against the company, but MJF was more than happy to abuse his own staff mere days ago. Drama aside, we'll need to see some growth from MJF to make this land. What do you think?
Oh yeah, like he means like outside of the storyline, that sort of thing. Yeah. Oh yeah, of course. At the you have to, he has to. That was one of the things that people were talking about too. I remember like when we didn't know if he was going to show up to Double or Nothing, it was his age. He's a young guy. I know you look at him and you think like maybe he's a little bit older than he is, but he's a young guy. Like I'm 5 years older than MJF. Like I feel like a big sister / mother practically at this point. But you forget about that. He's still a young guy. You don't know what his mentality is. My 25-year-old self did not think the way that I think right now.
Exactly. Like when I was 25, I was not thinking about, and I did not have the pressure that he has. I think that was kind of like
I was cruising. I was just living life.
When I was 25, though, I had my first midlife crisis. Like, what am I gonna do?
I had my first midlife crisis at 16.
Why?
I don't know. I just had like this massive breakdown at 16. And I remember like sobbing and crying and screaming on the floor thinking, what am I going to do with my life? Because I didn't know what I wanted to do with my life. You never like freak out about what you're going to do with your life?
I did that at 25. When I was 25, I was working for like a boat company, and I was like, "What am I gonna do this for the rest of my life? I'm just gonna ride on a boat in New York and sell tickets."
That doesn't sound too bad. Riding a boat in New York sounds kind of nice. I might want to do that right now.
No, I sold tickets for the
cruises.
boat. Yeah,
like tourist ones.
I did a lot of different stuff. I did like I did tour guide for that for a while, but at that time when I was 25, I was just selling tickets for the boat. So the only thing I would do is go from stop to stop. Like I wouldn't do anything like further than that. That's what made me go like, maybe I should train to be a tour guide since I'm already on the boat, so I can spend more time on the boat.
I remember at 25, I kept thinking, oh my God, am I going to make it? Am I ever going to make it? Am I going to make it? Am I going to make it? That's what I just kept thinking to myself. Either that or I was still working on my shoot jobs at that point. So I wasn't today. Okay. So I check my Facebook memories every day, right? Really? So 13 years ago today, or was it 13 years ago? I don't remember. A couple years ago, I only had $13.13 in my bank account. It wasn't 13 years ago. It's way less than that, a couple years ago. But I only had $13.13. So just putting that out there.
Hollywood.
I was
Going
broke
up.
as hell, man. I was broke as hell. I was like, yeah, at 25, I was still super broke. Yeah,
I was too. That's why I had my midlife crisis.
Well, actually, like up until like a year and a half ago, I was still broke. I like just recently became unbroke. And what's sad is that it's not even like I'm like enjoying like money falling down from the sky. Hell no, bro. I had to pay off my debt. Oh, it was like, oh yeah, you're finally getting money. Now pay up all the money you owe. It's hard being an adult. It freaking sucks and nobody cares. There's a point in your life where like mom does not gonna like help you out. Like that's it. Like you're on your own. Like nobody gives a damn. Like you broke.
Pretty much, yeah. I got my first place when I was like 21, and I was just like, man, I thought I had money before I had my own place. Now I got to pay for everything. Oh, I'm done. So,
oh my God, you're lucky that you were able to get your own place at 21. You know when I got my own place? Like 28, 29. I couldn't afford it.
I got gifted because my dad moved from New York. So he gave his apartment to me. So don't get me wrong. Yeah, I wasn't.
Makes sense.
I wasn't in a good place. I just had enough money to pay the rent. That's all.
Yeah, exactly. No, it's sad. I think about this more now, like life as an adult, and how if one paycheck doesn't come through, I could be on the streets. One paycheck and I will be on the streets. Think about that. Like that's really sad. Like the cost of living is so messed up.
It is. Trust me. I live in New York. Trust me. I know.
Oh, then you know. Yeah, you know. New York's freaking expensive. I went there for vacation. Oh my God. I was like every time I crossed the street, it was $100.
They charge you for breathing in New York.
Dude, you know what I hate about New York? Please, I need to bury your town for a little bit.
Please, really go ahead. Go ahead.
I hate
I'm all for it.
They have horrible, and I mean horrible customer service, and they include the gratuity in their freaking like bill. And I'm like, no, because that's not how I roll. If you are a good server, if you have great hospitality, I will go above and beyond with a tip. If you are a horrible hospitality person, like give me horrible customer service, I'll be like, you shitty ass tip. I don't care. Like you need to actually earn the tip. So, like in New York, they were so rude and they were like 20% tip. I'm like, you don't deserve 20%. Damn, you were rude as hell. Didn't even bring me a soda for like 30 minutes. No, so I don't like that about New York. I don't like that. I thought like all the customer service people were very, very rude. You don't get that down here. People are nice down here.
I worked in customer service for a while. I actually worked in hotels too. So I know that it's like when you come from outside of New York and you come to New York, when you meet someone who has good customer service, and I was one of those people, they really tip you. Like if you don't include, because I've never worked in like restaurants or anything like that where they put it included. I worked in like hotels where I'm like, I used to book like tours for people, or I used to work at the front desk and get them like a card to the airport or from the airport. And they would like tip me like $50, $100. I was like, this is where it's at because I had good customer service. But no, in general, overall, yeah, especially at the restaurants, they don't have good hospitality.
They don't have it anywhere. It's so bad. I'm like, ill.
I will say hotels do. Certain hotels.
Okay. Certain. I don't think I had enough like interactions with the hotel workers to say whether my maid was really nice. She was really nice. Like the lady who cleaned the room, she was very nice. Like she would like check in with me every day. She was nice.
See?
But everybody else was not nice. Oh my God, the drivers are so mean too. Like all the Lyft drivers. Yeah. They're so like mean. They're mean.
They are because they don't get paid that much. So, but yeah.
Well, then it hurts their tip. The nicer they are, I will give a bigger tip if you're more generous.
That's true. See, you heard it here first. We got any drivers watching in New York? Just remember that when Denise comes back. I highly doubt it. We got another Ultra Chat here after our rant about New York hospitality. Ten Russo, he says, Pete looks different today. Denise, like MJF, you don't watch New Japan Pro Wrestling, but please watch Best of Super Juniors and the upcoming Dominion. NJPW are back, baby. I'm buzzed for AEW because of Forbidden Door and the MJF story. Love all of this. Hope Tony and MJF are good.
Agreed. Hope they're good.
I thought you did watch New Japan in the past.
Yeah, but when their product went stale, why the hell was I going to watch it? I'm not going to watch a stale product. Wait for it to come back, for it to get good. And also, now at this point, I'm honestly at the point now where my schedule is so busy that if it's not on my weekly checklist, I don't have time. I legitimately do not have time. So unless I have to watch it, it ain't happening right now.
Hollywood.
It's the truth. I'm sorry, but it's funny. You know my pet peeve? Here's my pet peeve. I'm about to fucking go off. Oops. Sorry.
There it is.
Okay, here's my pet peeve, okay? Everybody who knows me knows that I have a very, very busy schedule, okay? Like, let's be real. And I watch so many programming, like so many shows during the week. And then there's sometimes where, let's say I'm not watching something and I tweet like, oh, I'm doing something else, like for once in my life. There's always that one person on Twitter that's like, oh my God, you're not watching this? And I'm like, I have a freaking life. Let me have a life for once. Like, damn, if I go out on a Saturday and I didn't stay home to watch the NWA, freaking sue me. I don't care. I'm out having a life. Damn. And then, like, let's say I'm reviewing one show, right? On a weekend, people will be like, well, how come you're not talking about this show? I don't have 4 sets of eyes. I have 2 eyeballs. Damn, I could only watch so much. And there's always that one person in my Twitter comments that's like, how come you're not watching this? Oh my God, do you know there's certain days where there's so much wrestling on TV? Like, I cannot watch everything. People go crazy. Sorry, it's a rant of mine. But there are going to be days, there are going to be Saturdays where I'm like, no wrestling today. I'm going to go out and have a life.
And to be fair, no one watches NWA. There's two
nobody
in life. No one watches NWA.
Legit, I did get that. Somebody left me a comment and they were being legit. Like, they weren't even trolling. They were like, how come you're not watching NWA? Blah, 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 blah. I'm like, get out of here.
This is where she put those.
I watch what I want to watch. Do you not get it? Am I like screaming into the clouds right now?
No. I'm a person that I watch a lot of wrestling. I do, because for my podcast, I kind of have to, because my co-hosts don't. I have to watch all the wrestling to cover everything going on, but I don't have that much time because I have 2 kids. They're 2-year-olds. They're in their terrible 2 phase. So trust me, I don't have time for NWA. I don't have time for NXT UK. Like, I watch as much wrestling as possible. I watch AEW, WWE. I watch New Japan. It took me a while.
Shows.
Yeah, there's too much. If you just watch those 3 promotions, there's way too many shows to keep up with. But you'll still get people that be like, oh, why are you not watching MLW? Why are you not? I'm like, what? What are we talking about? That's not even important.
I like to see my family every now and then, guys. I like to watch something outside of wrestling every now and then. Damn.
I just finished watching Stranger Things. I was too busy with that to watch NWA this week, or NXT UK, or MLW. Sorry.
Let's be real. I could have like a whole week off. I still ain't watching NWA. Like, I can have the whole week and be bored out of my mind. I still won't tune in.
Oh,
it's the truth.
That rant gave me life. Thank you, Denise.
You're welcome. See, that's the thing. I feel like people are not honest about what this job entails.
It entails a lot of watching wrestling, and I've said this once. I'll say this again. WWE made me become a wrestling fan, but if I wasn't paid to watch WWE, I don't know if I'll be watching that too often.
Bro, I'd be sitting here watching NXT 2.0, watching boring SmackDown where the same thing happens every week. I'd be here watching Raw live from 5 to 8. You know, I could be doing from 5 to 8 every Monday.
Seriously. Well, you you're getting married, so you got stuff to
On
do.
top of that, I
Come on.
know.
Oh, seriously, that gave me life. That was
Apologies
good.
for the rants.
That was great. No, that was great. This is what the people come for. Um, we got another ultra chat here from Misha Summer, who says, "Here's the pitch: Punk loses the belt in 6 months or so to super face Eddie Kingston. Then, towards the end of 2023, MJF gets his run as champ, and we tease him threatening to leave with the belt, Brett in '97 style."
Cool.
I don't know if we want to wait that long. I know that's closer to when his contract expires, but you got to strike while the iron's hot with this, in my opinion.
Yeah. Especially because then, I mean, we were just talking about that with Wardlow.
Yeah.
You got to, like you said, strike while the iron is hot.
I like the way strike while the iron is hot.
I have PTSD with irons, that's why.
Oh.
Long story short, I have one fat hand and one skinny hand because when I was a kid, I placed my hand on a burning iron and like my hand burnt, this hand burnt, and I grew like a big old ball of like flesh. So now this hand is really skinny because I lost all that skin at a very young age, and this hand is fat. Fat hand and a skinny hand.
Is this the first time you're saying this on
No,
here?
I've talked about this before, but you can even tell on camera. Notice how this one has like a dent and you can see my bones, and this one you can see a little bit more of like my meat. I don't got meat on this hand. It's all bones. If you ever touch my left hand, you will feel all my bones. My mom hates it. She's like, Denise, you need to be really careful with your hands. And I'm like, I think everybody should be really careful with their hands.
Seriously. We got to see Denise's meat all live on air. So, ladies and gentlemen, it's a good show.
You could tell.
Yeah, nah, I see with the thumbs especially. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Like this is my skinny hand. This is my fat hand. Oh, yeah. See, like you can tell, like the meat. There's no meat on this one.
No.
It's just a dent.
There we go.
See that? Like you see that?
You see that? You see that? Oh, I love this pod. This is the greatest pod I've ever done on here.
Now everybody knows I have one fat hand and one skinny hand.
At normal hands, ladies and gentlemen, it's a real thing. Sheldon Jackson sends us an ultra chat saying, at Forbidden Door, would you have an AEW star win the IWGP Championship Gold? And if so, which star/title and vice versa, with a New Japan star winning AEW/ROH Championship Gold?
I can definitely see them doing something with the ROH title. I don't know we would see any other title change hands. I think that would just be, I mean, it would be interesting because you're like, okay, where do we go from this? Like there's going to be more. So at least it gives you the intention of, okay, there's still going to be more of this collaboration. I mean, we already know there's going to be more of this collaboration, or we can guess that there's going to be more of this collaboration. But if there were to see like, a title change hand or something like that, it would just give you the promise, I think, like solidify like, hey, we're actually going to be doing more of this. But yeah. I hope that, and we've already seen the success of the Forbidden Door, and just based off ticket sales and general interest and how people were reacting, I do hope that Tony Khan does more of this with, I know somebody on one show or another mentioned Impact Wrestling and doing like a collab show like that, and doing more of these types of matches that, a one-off for the night where you're like, oh, I didn't expect this match to happen. We can actually see this go down. I think seeing more of that, and given the fact that these types of shows, these joint shows are pretty successful, I think they should do that. Like they should do maybe like one a year with, New Japan, one a year with Impact or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah, the Forbidden Door doesn't have to just be between AEW and New Japan. I would love for them to do their version of Evolution with the Impact Wrestling, with their Knockouts division, with AEW. Give me Britt Baker versus Deonna Purrazzo. Give me Tasha Steelz versus Thunder Rosa. I want to see stuff like that, especially since the women are not going to get their opportunity because New Japan doesn't have women. They need to have their own stage. It's kind of like what WWE did when they had Crown Jewel and the women couldn't go to Saudi Arabia. That's why they gave them Evolution. You got to do that, AEW. So
let me ask you, I'm just going to throw a wild one out here. Let's say this time next year, just for shits and giggles, let's say that next year, Forbidden Door, WWE, AEW, what would you do? What would your reaction be? Like, let's just say one day you tune into Raw and they're like, we have a big announcement. We're going to do Forbidden Door with AEW. It ain't going to happen, but let's just say, what would you do? What would you do if?
I would be like, I would go to my missus and be like, what did you put in my food? Did you drug me? And what type of acid trip am I on? My jaw would be on the floor if Tony Khan came out on a Raw stage and interrupted Cody Rhodes. Like, you've been talking all this trash about me in interviews. You used to work for me, damn it.
I love that. Can you imagine?
That would be so cool. That would be the coolest. I want to live in this acid trip that you just put me on.
Yeah.
We got Chaos be spitting with the Ultrachats saying, you and Denise are talking about the crisis I'm going through right now. Crying emoji. Trust me.
The adult stuff?
Yes.
Don't worry, we have all been there, man. Have you ever been so poor you had to sell your clothes and then they didn't even give you anything for it because your clothes wasn't even worth anything? That happened to me one time. I tried to sell my clothes on those like little thrift shops. Bro, they didn't want to take any of my clothes. I made no money. I wasted money driving up there.
That's the worst. That sounds like an episode I think they did of Flavor of Love, or was it Charm School? Charm School did that one time. Oh my God, you don't know these? This is classic reality television, Denise.
I don't watch reality TV.
Why not?
Because I don't like it. I'm above that. I only watch wrestling. No, but it's true. I don't watch reality TV.
Above reality television.
It is. You know what? I see reality TV fans, and I'm like, ew. Like, I give my mom so much crap. I'm like, why do you waste your time watching that? And she's like, oh my God, it's so good. Yes. She watches everything, and I'm like, I tell her this. Why would I watch somebody else living their life? Like, who does that?
I've stopped.
And you cannot compare wrestling, okay? Because what do you get on these housewife shows? All these homegirls just yelling at each other, being all dramatic. Okay, you don't see anybody doing no sort of freaking. I don't see no Canadian destroyers on the Real Housewives.
You haven't been watching all the right episodes.
Oh my God, no! I tried watching that 90 Day Fiance thing.
That's the best one.
I felt my brain going on fire.
Any 90 Day slander, if you talk any slander,
it's horrible. It's trash. It's garbage, and it melts your brain. And I watch Monday Night Raw every week. It's horrible.
90 Day Fiance greater than Monday Night Raw.
Maybe. Yes. I don't know. I watched one episode and some girl went to like some third world country and she was like having a meltdown. I was like, homegirl, ain't no man worth this. But it was horrible. It was horrible. I cannot sit there and watch these shows. Like, my mom watches Sister Wives. And I just know that would not fly with me because I'd kill all them girls. I'd be like, nah, he's mine.
See, you're putting this. So my missus stopped watching wrestling because she just can't get into the current stuff. She'll watch like old school stuff with me, but how we come together is trash reality television. We just started watching Are You the One thanks to Jeremy Lambert, and
is this like love after lockdown? Oh God, I hate all these shows. They're all horrible. They're all horrible. They're all trash. All of them.
Yes, trash reality. It's entertainment. It's entertainment, people. Ten Russo with an ultra chat here saying it's great being in Australia where the minimum wage is good and we don't have tipping. America, you're whack as hell in so many ways. What upcoming shows are you looking forward to the most? Happy I could get your vent on Denise. Ibushi, please come back. Great stuff there. Great stuff. What shows are you looking forward to?
Like TV shows or wrestling shows?
I think he means wrestling show because this Ultra Chat came in before we went on a reality television.
Oh, well, this month, what do we got? We got Triple Mania happening. We got Forbidden Door happening. Slammiversary. Oh, shit, there's a lot going on. Slammiversary, Hell in a Cell. I just realized I looked at my calendar and I was like, what? Oh, that's happening this month?
There's not a free, especially if you do watch New Japan, you got Dominion next week. There's not a free week from June to July, I don't think, because now they just announced, Fightful did the report that ROH is having a pay-per-view in July. So yeah, there's shows galore the next couple of months.
Yeah, there's a lot happening. So that's what I'm looking forward to. And I'm also looking forward to the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. No, I'm not. If you ever see me watching any of those shows, I'm on drugs. That's going to be the indicator. She's on drugs. Someone help her.
Like something's wrong when Denise tweets about reality television. You know someone has hacked into her account.
Unless it's
And she's
reality
kidnapped.
competition. If it's a competition show, I love
The
those. I'll watch
challenge?
all of
Do you
them.
watch the challenge?
No, but I sometimes watch like The Voice. I like all the cooking shows, like those types of shows, like those reality competition shows.
No, you want real competition. You gotta watch the challenge.
No, I don't want to watch the challenge. I
Come
don't like
on.
shows that everybody's talking about. Like if everybody's talking about it, I'm like, I don't want to watch that.
Fair. That's
And I heard a bunch of people talking about it at one point, and so now I don't want to watch it.
Respect. I respect you for that because I was that type of way with like Game of Thrones and Walking
I tried
Dead.
watching Game of Thrones, but I got kind of grossed out when I was watching it. I was like, bleh, I'm not watching this.
I was like, nah, people, it's too popular. I'm not gonna watch it. Slam and Sammy Joe, one of our elite good eggs from our Wrestling Daily days, saying Denise Oscuro burying your hometown SP3, getting that cheap heat. She is clearly true heel material. Much love. Yes, Denise is one of the biggest heels in the wrestling media business. I will say.
Yeah,
I respect.
I'm
you
not
for
denying it.
She's like, yeah, I accept this.
I accept it.
And then we got one final ultra chat here, say from legit Thunderboss. Oh no, legit Underboss saying if they were smart, was smart, would send MJF to Hell in a Cell and sit in the crowd.
Oh God, that'd be really funny.
I love that. I would mark out if I saw MJ. I said the thing to do is have MJF beat CM Punk for the AEW World Championship, and then the next Wednesday on Dynamite, he doesn't show up the entire show. You have Punk come out saying he's all angry for losing the title, and then we see on the video screen MJF cutting a promo with the AEW World Championship, and then they pan out and he's standing in front of WWE headquarters. You just blur this.
Things I mentioned yesterday, not with the bout, but just like in general, like like have him in front of like have him there and be like, oh, doing something. I don't know, anything.
Exactly. See, we Taurus, we think alike. We don't agree on reality television. But
I was gonna say, I feel like a lot of people have already thought about this.
We're saying the general thoughts of the community.
Okay,
that's what people come here for. But yes, that is all for our Ultra Chats, all for this edition of the magazine podcast. Denise, this was a privilege to be here with Hollywood Salcedo. Thank you so much. Anything that you want to plug before we sign off?
Twitter and Instagram at _ Denise Salcedo, YouTube.com/Denise Salcedo. I'll be doing a Hell in a Cell watch along. So if you're tired of all those British boys, come hang out with me.
Hey, we also do a watch along over on True Hill Heat. I'll be there in about 5 minutes to preview Hell in a Cell. I'll be there with Romeo as well as Lily from Fightful Overbooks Grappy Hour. So check me out over there, True Hill Heat YouTube channel. Thank you, Denise. It was awesome being here. Denise P3 is in the place to be. Goodbye for now.